The Catalan independence movement or the Catalan separatist movement is a political movement, derived from Catalan nationalism, which supports the independence of Catalonia or the Catalan countries from Spain and France. As a coastal territory of the Crown of Aragon, Catalonia has shared the monarch with Spain since the latter part of the 15th century, when Spain was born from the union of the Crown of Aragon and the Crown of Castile. However, the Crown of Aragon lost distinctive rules, institutions and laws at the end of the War of Spanish Succession in 1714, when Philip V of Spain issued the Nueva Planta decrees, a centralized Spanish rule. Support for Catalan independence is based on the thesis from the 19th century that Catalonia is a nation, derived from contemporary political and cultural ideology based on the history of Catalonia, the Catalan language and Catalan traditions. The beginnings of separatism can be traced back to mid-19th to early 20th centuries, when some individuals, organizations and political parties started demanding full independence of Catalonia from Spain. In 1931 a coalition of Catalan nationalist parties was the most voted force in Catalonia in the Spanish municipal elections that triggered the proclamation of the Second Spanish Republic. In 1932 Catalonia was granted a statute of autonomy and home rule institutions, which lasted until the Spanish Civil War and the subsequent Franco dictatorship, which based its public ideology on Spanish nationalism and Catholicism, abolished home rule and discouraged regional cultures. Following Franco's death in 1975 and the Spanish transition to democracy, Catalan autonomy was restored in 1977. Catalan nationalists have governed the region most of the time since then, and those calling for full independence have had their parliamentary group since 1980. More recently, there has been a substantial increase in the number of people who openly consider themselves independentists, and on September 11, 2012 and September 11, 2013 there were massive demonstrations with more than 1 million participants calling for independence for Catalonia through a peaceful, democratic process and non-binding and unofficial referendums in municipalities. The ruling coalition, Converga NCIAI Unia cubed on giving up its long-standing strategy for more autonomy shortly after the 2012 demonstration, openly came out in favor of independence, but lost some MPs in the Parliament of Catalonia to the more radical Historical Independence Party, for various reasons. After the 2012 election, a clear majority of the parliament in Catalonia is committed to a referendum on independence, and 55% of it is composed of openly separatist parties. The Estelada flag, in its blue and red versions, has become its main symbol. History. Some Catalan authors, such as Xavier Bru de Sala Canvia España, argue that the first serious struggle for Catalan independence may date back as far as 1640, with the unsuccessful First Catalan Republic after the Reapers' War. In the subsequent War of the Spanish Succession Catalans hoped to salvage their institutions of home rule, in the face of a centralizing Bourbon pretender, rather than outright independence. In the early 20th century Enric Prat de la Riba forged an alliance of county councils, the Mancomunitat de Catalunya, to modernize Catalonia by building state structures. In the modern sense, the first political parties to define themselves as pro-independence were created between the 1920s and the 1930s in Catalonia. The main separatist party created at this time was Estok Català and its branch called Bandera Negra. Estok Català evolved into the new party Esquerra Republicana de Catalunya, although some of its members refused it and remained faithful to the original Estok Català, now a minor party. In the First World War Catalan volunteers bore the pro-independence flag when they fought on the Allies' side. The same ensign headed a text addressed to President Wilson late in 1918, calling on him to review the Treaty of Utrecht, which had allowed Spain to abolish Catalonia's home rule inside a centralized unitary state. In 1928 exiled Catalans in Cuba drafted a provisional constitution of the Catalan Republic. After the Spanish Civil War, members of Estok Català and Nosaltres Sols founded the Front Nacional de Catalunya, which became the main pro-independence party. However, one might argue that the modern Catalan pro-independence movement was actually born in the 1960s with the Partit Socialista de Lliberament Nacional. Since then, The pro-independence movement has assumed a mostly left-wing political trend and has often shifted its focus from independence for Catalonia to independence for the Catalan countries. By the 1970s, the PSAN split into several factions, and many other groups appeared, including the armed organization Terralia. In the 1980s, the Moviment de Defensa de la Terra became the major pro-independence political group, but this too became divided by the end of the decade. During the 1990s, existing political parties such as Esquerra Republicana de Catalunya and the Linguistic National Initiative Crida a la Solidaritat progressively evolved towards a more pro-independence stance. 2010's events 2010 Catalan autonomy protest The 2010 Catalan autonomy protest was a demonstration held in central Barcelona on July 10, 2010 against the limits set to the autonomy of Catalonia within Spain, and particularly against a then-recent decision of the Spanish Constitutional Court to annul or reinterpret several articles of the 2006 Statute of Autonomy of Catalonia, approved in referendum by 73.9% of the voters. The judgment of June 28, 2010 declared as without interpretative legal effect references to Catalonia as a nation, and the national reality of Catalonia. It also declared 14 articles entirely or partly unconstitutional. 22 further articles and 4 additional provisions were interpreted restrictively, always limiting Catalan self-government. The articles mentioned refer to Catalonia as a nation, its historic rights and symbols, protection of the Catalan language, decentralization of justice in Catalonia, local organization in Catalonia, the Catalan model of banks, the organization of political consultations or referendums, competencies in immigration, the financing of Catalonia. The number of people taking part in the demonstration was estimated at between 1.1 million and 1.5 million. Madrid-based newspaper El País estimated the number of demonstrators at 425,000. The mobilization was described as unprecedented by the mayor of Barcelona. Barcelona Daily El Periódico de Catalunya described it as without a doubt one of the biggest protest marches that have ever occurred in Catalonia, and possibly the biggest. The demonstration was led by a banner with the Catalan slogan Som una nació cubed. Nosaltres decidim. Changes in government Nationalist leaders believe that the demonstration on July 10 was a turning point in relations between Catalonia and Spain. An election to the Catalan government was held on November 28, 2010 with Artur Mas emerging as president. A general election was held in Spain the following year in which the People's Party won an absolute majority with 187 of the 350 seats in the chamber. Party leader Mariano Rajoy was sworn in as president of the Spanish 10th legislature shortly afterwards. Public response Catalonia saw several local referenda for independence take place in hundreds of villages between September 13, 2009 and April 2011, with an overwhelming number of yes votes being cast. However, turnout was low at 27.41%. Several citizens' initiatives arose in 2011 and 2012 in response to perceived slights by Spain, such as the No Vol Pagar campaign, which protested against toll fees that were seen as abusive compared with those in other parts of Spain. The protest began in early April 2012 in Catalonia and had extended in a minor degree to Valencia and the Balearic Islands by the following month. At an institutional level, several municipalities of Catalonia came together to create the Association of Municipalities for Independence, an organization officially established on December 14, 2011 in Vic, which brings local organizations together to further the national rights of Catalonia and promote its right to self-determination. Also, during 2012, 197 Catalan towns declared themselves free Catalan territory, stating that the Spanish legislation and regulations have effect only in Spain, so this town will wait for new legislation and regulation from the Catalan government and the Parliament of Catalonia. 2012 Catalan independence demonstration and snap elections The 2012 Catalan independence demonstration, organized by the Catalan National Assembly, argued that Catalonia should become an independent state within the European Union, under the slogan Catalonia, New State in Europe. The number of participants was estimated at about 1.5 million according to Barcelona's municipal police and Catalonia's Department of the Interior, about 2 million according to the organizers, and about 600,000 according to the delegation of the Spanish government in Catalonia. La Directa magazine estimated at minimum 1,056,000 by counting occupied area and density. An article by statistician Lorena Section Badula published in newspaper La Vanguardia estimated at about 600,000. The city centre was crowded for hours and it was feared that the massive influx of people might bring the mobile phone network to a standstill. Many newspapers and other news agencies described it as an historic demonstration and considered it to be the biggest protest march ever held in Catalonia since the restoration of democracy in Spain, surpassing other major demonstrations, including the 2010 Catalan autonomy protest. The event has marked the Catalan political agenda, and the debate about the right to hold a referendum on the independence of Catalonia has been reopened, as well as the debate about the feasibility of an independent Catalan state and its integration into the European Union. As a consequence, the Catalan independence referendum is planned to take place during the 10th legislature of the Parliament of Catalonia. According to a resolution adopted by the Parliament of Catalonia on September 27, 2012, the resolution was adopted after the general policy debate. It received 84 favourable votes, 21 against and 25 abstentions. The President of the Generalitat of Catalonia, Artur Mas, declared in a speech to Parliament that it was time for the people of Catalonia to exercise the right of self-determination. On September 25, 2012, the President of the Generalitat of Catalonia Artur Mas announced snap elections for the Parliament of Catalonia to be held on November 25 and argued, referring to the demonstration, that the street vocal must be moved to the polls. Parties defending Catalonia Euro unregistered trademark S independence from Spain obtained more than half the Catalan parliament seats and significantly increased their votes, although Mas' party lost seats. The agreement for freedom was negotiated between Artur Mas and Oriol Junqueras, the leader of the opposition in the Parliament of Catalonia. On January 23, 2013, the Parliament of Catalonia adopted by 85 favourable votes, 41 against, and 2 abstentions the Declaration of Sovereignty and of the Right to Decide of the Catalan people. It states that the people of Catalonia have a euro by reason of democratic legitimacy, a euro the character of a sovereign political and legal entity. It is based on the following principles: sovereignty, democratic legitimacy, transparency, dialogue, social cohesion, Europeanism, legality, role of the Catalan Parliament and participation. The political parties Convergence and Union, Republican Left of Catalonia and Initiative for Catalonia, Greens United and Alternative Left fully supported the statement of sovereignty. On the other hand, the People's Party of Catalonia and Citizens, a Euro Party of the Citizenry, fully opposed the proposal. 15 members of the Socialists Party of Catalonia voted against. 5 did not vote despite being present in the chamber, thus disobeying the orders of the party whips to vote against the proposal. Finally, the Popular Unity candidature gave a critical yes, with 1 vote in favour and 2 abstentions. On May 8, 2013, this declaration was provisionally suspended by the Constitutional Court of Spain. On March 25, 2014, the same court declared this declaration void and not constitutional. The Spanish government totally opposes Catalonia Euro unregistered trademark S independence, its self-determination, and the organization of a vote. Catalan Way human chain equals. The Catalan Way, also known as the Catalan Way towards independence, was a 480-kilometer human chain in support of Catalan independence from Spain. It was organized by the Assemblea Nacional Catalana, and took place in Catalonia on September 11, 2013, which is the National Day of Catalonia. Catalonia's Department of the Interior estimated the number of participants at about 1.6 million. The protest was supported by 14 non-governmental groups. The human chain followed the ancient Via Augusta, from La Pia up to Alcena. According to Carme Forcadell, president of the ANC, it was a symbol of the unity of Catalan people to achieve national sovereignty. Plans for the Catalan Way were presented for the first time on June 19, 2013, at the Mercedes Esquadria de Catalunya. The inspiration for these was the 1989 Baltic Way. The presentation included Hen Carrots and Alo Larnajar, two members of the organization which staged the Baltic Way. 3 weeks before the event, more than 350,000 people had registered to participate. In total, the organizers mobilized about 1,500 buses and 30,000 volunteers to help organize the event. On September 11, 2014, the Catalan Way 2014 street protest attracted 900,000 people, according to an independent statistical analysis by the Autonomous University of Barcelona. The human chain at this event occupied the two main streets in Barcelona, drawing 11 kilometers. V-shaped Catalan flag. The V also stood for vote, referring to the referendum that was upcoming at the time. Catalan self-determination referendum equals. On December 12, 2013, the government of Catalonia announced a referendum on independence had been set for November 9, 2014. It will contain a question with two sections: do you want Catalonia to become a state? And in case of an affirmative response, do you want this state to be independent? The Spanish government stated shortly thereafter its intention to block the referendum, stating such a poll will not be held. The government maintained as of September 2014 that the referendum was illegal. While a yes vote would not mean Catalonia would secede, according to Catalan politician Artemaz I Gavaricubed, it would give independence leaders a political mandate to negotiate with the government regarding independence. The poll was in fact held, and 80.8% of voters marked yes on both questions, although a majority of Catalans chose not to participate in the referendum. Support in Catalan politics. The parties explicitly campaigning for independence currently represented in the Catalan parliament are the Republican Left of Catalonia and the Popular Unity candidacy. They won 13.4% of the vote after the Catalan elections of 2012. However, Convergence and Union and Initiative for Catalonia, Greens United and Alternative Left both include pro-independence factions, and these four parties comprising 57.9% of the vote are all in favor of an independence referendum in 2014. Esquerra also has one MEP and 3 members of the Spanish parliament. Many members and voters of CIU, the governing nationalist federation with the most seats at the Catalan parliament, also give support to independence. Although independence is not formally proposed in their election manifesto, their objective is the maximum autonomy of Catalonia inside Spain, and have abstained numerous times in independence votes in the Parliament of Catalonia. The pro-independence tendency inside the party has presumably been growing since its leader proposed in 2007 the so-called Casa Grande del Catalanisme project, which, among other causes, includes the defense of self-determination for Catalonia. Finally, the left-wing ICVOEA party claims to give full support to the right of self-determination and has several members explicitly supporting Catalan independence. Though many parties reject the idea of independence, the only political parties that reject Catalan self-determination rights are the People's Party of Catalonia and Ciutadans, which had 12.99%. 7.58% of the vote respectively in the 2012 Catalan parliamentary election. However, there is a significant fraction within the Socialists Party supporting the sovereignty of Catalonia within a federalized Spain. Other smaller pro-independence parties or coalitions, without present representation in any parliament, are Catalan Solidarity for Independence, Estok Català, Endavant, PSAN, MDT and Regrupament. There are also youth organizations such as Young Republican Left of Catalonia, ARAN, and the student unions SEPC and FNEC. In Spain, some considered this trend to have been stimulated as a reaction especially against the policy of the Spanish government's governing People's Party, and its opposition to certain legislative reforms such as the reformed Statute of Autonomy of Catalonia of 2006. Public opinion. The position of Catalans regarding the independence of either Catalonia or of the Catalan countries must be studied taking into account an important fact, namely, that close to 6 million of Catalan citizens are of immigrant or non-Catalan Spanish origin. It has been calculated that the total population of Catalonia, with no migration, would have grown from 2 million people in 1900 to just 2.4 million in 1980, merely 39% of the actual population of 6.1 million at that date. This population has continued growing and was over 7.4 million in 2009. One study found that support for independence is a function of grievances rooted in the desire for Catalonia to assume responsibility for taxation and spending policy. This suggests that Spain might be able to stave off Catalonia's separatist bid through some form of political and taxation policy reconfiguration. Polling institutions Several institutions have performed polls which also include questions on the independence issue in Catalonia. The following are the most prominent ones: are the Center for Opinion Studies, the Spanish government-run Social Research Center, and a Social and Political Sciences Institute of Barcelona belonging to the Autonomous University of Barcelona and Diputación of Barcelona. Center for Opinion Studies, the CEO was depending on the Economy Department of the Generalitat of Catalonia until early 2011. Since then it has been placed under direct control of the Presidency of the Generalitat and is currently headed by Jordi Argelagat i Argima. Since the second quarter of 2011, CEO has conducted polls regarding public sentiments toward independence. CEO likewise conducted polls in the first and second series of 2014 based on the 9N independence referendum format. The questions and choices involved were, do you want Catalonia to become a state? If the answer for question 1 is in the affirmative, do you want this state to be independent? In addition, CEO performs regular polls studying opinion of Catalan citizens regarding Catalonia's political status within Spain. The following table contains the answers to the question, which kind of political entity should Catalonia be with respect to Spain? CIS performed a poll in Catalonia on 2001, including an explicit question on independence with the following results: 35.9% supporting it, 48.1% opposing it, 13.3% indifferent, 2.8% did not reply. Social and Political Sciences Institute of Barcelona, ICPS performs an opinion poll annually since 1989, which sometimes includes a section on independence. The results are in the following table: a telephonic instead of door-to-door interview. The question of independence has not been polled so far in other Catalan-speaking territories outside of Catalonia, but anecdotal evidence suggests that there is no sizable support for the idea of independence of the Catalan-speaking territories outside of Catalonia. Newspaper polls Catalan newspapers El Periódico and La Vanguardia have also been publishing their own surveys in recent times. El Periódico, in case, a yes vote would imply leaving the EU, La Vanguardia. Support. In recent years, support for Catalan independence has broadened from the traditional left or far-left Catalan nationalism. Relevant examples are the liberal economists Xavier Sala y Martín and Ramon Tremosa Balcells, the lawyer and former FC Barcelona president Joan Laporta, or the jurist and former member of the Consejo General del Poder Judicial Alphonse Llach Tena. The think tank Cercle d'Estudis Sobiranistes, led by the jurists Alphonse Llach Tena and Harc de Llach Bofill, was founded in 2007. Since then it has summoned a number of lawmakers, professors, businessmen, professionals, economists, journalists and intellectuals for the cause of Catalonia's independence. Other individuals include, Miquel Colla Section Ada, journalist and reporter, Josep Carreras, tenor singer, Teresa Forcades, Benedictine nun, Josep Guardiola i Sala, coach of FC Bayern Munich, former football player and former coach for FC Barcelona, Joel Joan, actor, Liwa S. Llach, composer and songwriter, Artur Mas, president of Catalonia and president of Convergence and Union, Justo Molinero, radio host, Quimonza Cubed, short story writer, Manuel de Pedrolo, writer, Felip Puig, politician, Oriol Pujol i Fusela, politician, Pilar Rahela, journalist and author, co-founder of the Independence Party, France Schreiber i Tonu, lead singer of the group Brahms, Xavier Robert, De Ventecube des, philosopher, Carl Soler I Ferrando, chemist, Joan Soler, philologist, Tony Strobel I Trueta, linguist, Liwa S. Maria Xirinax, priest, political activist and author. See also. Notes. References. External links, Catalonia votes, website on self-determination referendum, with articles, videos, etc. Catalonia's independence on YouTube, party urging more autonomy from Spain seems to win in Catalonia. Article on New York Times, November 2, 2006, The Importance of Catalonia to the Spanish Economy. Infographic published by Venture Spain, October 9, 2014, Courage in Catalonia. Article on New York Times, June 22, 2006, Voters in Catalonia approve a plan for greater autonomy. Article in the New York Times, June 19, 2006, Spain moves on law to give broad powers to Catalonia. Article in the New York Times, March 31, 2006, Independentist sites. At DMOZ. History of Catalan Independentism. Dossier of the Catalan magazine El Temps.